This is UFC Fight Night, Walker versus Zhang. This is in China, so it's a mediocre card. It has a good main card. Other than that, it's pretty shit. Yeah, this is my fifth time recording this, so it better go well, or fuck it, I ain't recording one for this card. Fuck it. So yeah, let's get straight into the predictions. Johnny Walker versus Zhang Mingyang. A pretty obvious pick for this card. Zhang Mingyang is knocking out Johnny Walker. He's a terrible matchup with Johnny Walker. He's a powerful guy. He's a big powerhouse in the division. Yeah, I hate this fucking phone. It just constantly buzzes, you know. Johnny Walker is legitimately. I don't know how he's got this far having a chin the way he does. Put it this way, like what he ranked 13, right? Okay, doesn't make sense in the slightest. I honestly think Anthony Smith could beat this guy. You know what I mean? He could come out of retirement and beat this guy. But yeah, I'm going with Zhang Mingyang. Terrible matchup for him. Yeah, Zhang Mingyang's gonna knock him out. For second round knockout, first half of the second round. Yeah. Zhang Mingyang's gonna be a problem in the division, I believe. I think he's gonna be top 7 level, I reckon, around that level. We don't really know until he fights someone really good. And even after Johnny Walker, he wouldn't have fought anyone who's has something really good going for them. But yeah, on to the next fight, which is Brian Ortega versus Aljamain Sterling. This is my real main event for this card, because this is kind of personal for me, because I'm a Jose Aldo fan, right? And Jose Aldo is the second GOAT of the featherweight division. That's just a fact. If you say Max Holloway, you have no brain in your head in the slightest. But anyway, this is kind of personal for me, because people glaze a Brian Ortega win for every person, it seems. You know what I mean? We seem to just glaze the win, even though Brian Ortega was a terrible fighter. He just is. He has good jiu-jitsu, well done. His boxing's slow. People say his boxing's crisp. I'm like, are you watching the same fighter I'm watching? Are you watching another guy called Brian Ortega? Because this is not the same guy. I can't remember the guy who said his boxing was crisp. No, it wasn't. He just doesn't have crisp boxing. Brian Ortega is shit, right? Let's be honest, right? He hasn't fought since Lopez either. Sphere card. He hasn't fought since then. Yeah. You know. And I know the style matchup, you could be like, oh, well, he's only lost to power punches, and Aljamain Sterling isn't a power puncher, which you can argue, you can argue that, but Aljamain Sterling's just a better fighter everywhere, and he's going to beat him everywhere. Better grappler, better striker, better wrestling, better everything, just, you know, and better IQ too. Brian Ortega has low IQ moments. So I'm going to go with Aljamain Sterling via a pretty dominant decision. It's going to be 10-9. It's not going to be 10-8 every round, but it's going to be 10-9 every round. Yeah. And anyone who says Brian Ortega's a good win for Volkanovski, you're retarded. I see this on Twitter. They're kind of rooting for Brian Ortega purely off of him just being able to take damage and being fun because he gets beaten up. Let's be real, Brian Ortega is not elite. Every GOAT in the featherweight division, every guy in the featherweight division could probably beat him, and that's what me saying. We'll go through the fucking division if you want. Arnold Allen would beat him, right? I can't remember the whole division, to be fair. Evloev would beat him. Volkanovski's already beaten him. Yair Rodriguez, fair enough, he already beat him, but Yair Rodriguez can't grapple and needs another win that isn't good for Volkanovski. You know, even a Dan Ige, I reckon Dan Ige could beat Brian Ortega, you know. That's not a bad take either. Brian Ortega is terrible. I don't even know how he's ranked number 4 in the division. That is purely retardation. He shouldn't be ranked in the division. He's not a good win. Let's be real, if Volkanovski didn't beat Max Holloway 3 times, he wouldn't even be a GOAT in the division, you know what I mean? He's that level. He would barely be above McGregor. You know. Let's be honest, Volkanovski's best wins, in terms of title wins, it's Max 3 times, and Lopez, and the rest of them are trash. Let's be honest. Let's be honest there. And that's not a bad take in the slightest. You can see he beat Aldo in a competitive fight. He was losing to Chad Mendes and, pulled the finish off. But yeah, this is not a Volkanovski hate video. I don't even hate Volkanovski. I just think his title reign is very overrated. Very fucking overrated. But, let's move on. Sergey Pavlovich is fighting Waldo Cortez Acosta. That is a class fight, to be fair. Sergey Pavlovich is winning, and I think he's going to get a second round knockout. Waldo Cortez Acosta. I can't take the guy seriously. I can't take him seriously. I don't understand how Waldo Cortez Acosta is ranked in the division. I'm going to put it that way. But Sergey's only lost to the best in the division. What? He lost to Alistair Overeem fucking centuries ago. Yeah. Then you've got Tom Aspinall, which Tom Aspinall's going to be a future GOAT. Right? And then he lost to Volkov, who's just he's kind of going to be like the Whittaker of the Adesanya, even though that's not a good example. He's kind of going to be the Max and Volkanovski. He's going to be the Max in that example, you know what I mean? That's what I always think that with Volkov. But with Sergey Pavlovich, I think he's a gatekeeper for the top 5. I do think he's going to have that role for the rest of his career now. I think he's going to beat some guys outside of there, then the minute he fights someone in there, he'll lose. And yeah, I don't think Waldo Cortez Acosta is anywhere near Pavlovich's level. So yeah, let's just get straight. Let's just keep moving on. Let's make these quick, because no one really cares. Let's be honest, I'm just going to wait till I get to Lorna Kavanaugh. Yeah, I'm choosing the Chink. For the rest of the video, I ain't pronouncing any Chinese dude's name. They're just unpronounceable. I'm choosing the Chink because he's had close fights with pretty decent people in the division. So I'm choosing the Chink. That's not racist either, before we get some liberal in the chat. Yeah, I'm choosing the Chink. Simple as that. Right, on to this one, because this one I want to talk about this one. So you see Crosby, he looks pretty intimidating. You think, alright, this guy's probably pretty decent. Usually that's the case. He's not. He's had 15 fights, been unable to grapple, lost 5 fights because of being unable to grapple. Have we seen any improvement in that aspect? Fucking zero. And you know what? Khabib was right. There is no fucking Irish fighters. You got Ian Gary, who trains in Brazil. He's probably got Brazilian citizenship, so he's practically Brazilian, right? You got Conor McGregor, but he doesn't fight anymore, and that's it. Paul Hughes, but he's not in UFC, so it doesn't really matter, right? You have 3 good fighters in history, right? So he's kind of right. But this, all I'm going to say, right, is that the guy on the left, the Chink, I can't believe I'm actually having to call him Chink, because I can't bother to learn the names. But the Chink is going to win. The Chink's good everywhere. He has vicious knockouts all over. He seems to be going on a tear on the regional scene, just knocking out everyone, or submitting people with arm bars and stuff like that. So, yeah, if you can grapple in the slightest, you'll beat Crosby. That's just a simple thing of life. It's just a simple thing. It's a fact. If you can grapple, you can beat Crosby. Yeah, moving on. Alright. So, let me get his name back up because I forgot it. Young fought... Who did he fight again? He fought a guy in the Contender Series. It's Quillan Salkilde he fought in the Contender Series. And he got bitched around, but I do think Quillan Salkilde will be ranked in the future. I'm going to say that much. I ain't just saying that because he knocked out Anshu Jubilee, right? I'm not saying that. I just think he's a problem, and this fight showed, because it was jab, cross, left hook, and it was takedown. But this isn't about Quillan Salkilde. This isn't about Quillan Salkilde, alright? This isn't about him. Who cares? It's Quillan Salkilde. I'll glaze him when he fights next year, but he doesn't fight anymore. He gets a fucking 20-second knockout. Yeah, I'm going to sit on my ass and do nothing. I don't get people like that. You're a fighter. You should be fighting, especially if you take 0 fucking damage, right? But yeah, I don't know. Young, he got bitched around by Sal Killed, and I haven't seen anything since to take a note of. So I'm gonna go with the Chink again. I don't know. I'll be honest. This fight just kind of popped up, and I was like, I ain't watching either of them. I can't be bothered to watch either of them. I've made a deal with myself, right? If my videos start getting consistently good views, then I'll start putting effort, really fucking effort, into it. At the moment, I'll watch one fight on either side, and then I'll make my prediction. I ain't gonna do what I used to do. If you look back at me earlier, I was a little geek. My early videos, I was a little geek, and I'd sit there and I'd watch every single fight they've had in UFC and any regional fights, and I'd watch all of them all day, all night, make my notes, and then record the video. And then, they'll get fucking 1 to 5 views. So I'll be doing that if this channel grows significantly. It's grown very slowly. I like how it's growing slowly. It makes me realise my mistakes and stuff like that. But I ain't doing a whole day of research on a card which is probably going to get about 10 views maximum. And let's be real, you've probably already clicked off. You know, you probably came here you've probably clicked off after Pavlovich. So yeah. But yeah, I'm going to go with this guy. I don't know, on one of my recordings before it fucked up, I remember seeing something that he had a competitive decision with some decent guy. So yeah, he lost them. But yeah, that's impressive to me. So yeah. Moving on. Our guy, our Chinese English Chad Lorna Kavanagh is fighting Charles Johnson, which is a good fight. Charles Johnson is always a good underdog pick, by the way. I just want to mention that. He's always a good underdog pick. But there just comes a point where you're losing consistently to these certain level of fighters, which we don't know about until they've beaten him. Last time it was it Temirov who was on roids? I get it, but like, my only issue with people who use roids as an excuse and all that type of stuff is like, you don't inject yourself with steroids and just become a world champion. You know what I mean? John Jones' case, yes, but he was also really talented, right? Charles Johnson legitimately is the gatekeeper of the rankings, and I do think if he beats Charles Johnson, he'll be ranked probably, or he'll fight someone else for ranking. But yeah, I think the UFC needs to start pushing this guy, because I think he could be a star in the flyweight division. Like, I don't know how long Pantoja is going to be a champion for. The Glaze is unreal. We don't know how long he's going to be champion for. Let's be real here. We don't know how long he's going to be champion. He's getting older. Realistically, if logic made sense, Pantoja should have lost to Kai Kara-France. He's 35. But he mauled him. He killed him. And he kind of embarrassed Kai Kara-France. Lorna Kavanagh, legitimately, I think is a problem in the division. But I don't know. I reckon he'd be like about the... He'll definitely be top 5. That's what I think. Kavanagh's really good. He's powerful too. If you've not seen his cage or his knockouts, they're fucking terrifying. But we've seen now he's in UFC and he's fighting good level people. He's not as good as able to knock out people who are like a high enough level. So that's my only problem with it. But he will win. He will win this. Charles Johnson seems to just like flop every single gatekeeper fight. So that's my prediction on this fight. Let's just quickly get through these, right? Because like, let's be honest, no one cares. I'm gonna go with the Chink. Then I'm gonna go with Mikel Pereira. I swear he's fought in UFC before. I'll go with this guy, and then this one's gonna be a good fight, I reckon. 2 Caucus-ish looking fighters. I'll go with this guy. But yeah, I'm not going to go through the entire card again in detail, because realistically you're just going to click off after the 4th fight. So comment your predictions, like the video, and subscribe.